cikin nazari.
Hello and welcome to News Hour on UNT TV. Today is Wednesday, 12th of June 2023 and it's equivalent to 24th of Zulhijjah 1444 after Hijrah. The headlines: Fish out masterminds of Plateau killings, Tinubu orders security agencies. PDP governors demand credible polls in Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi. War population day, Nigeria may record 700,000 unwanted pregnancies in 2023, says UNDP. And on the foreign scene, Dutch PM quitting politics after a record 13-year term. And in sports, Juventus willing to sell Paul Pogba for just £10 million. And those were the headlines. And for details and more of the stories, I am Rukayat Sani Ibrahim. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed security agencies to fish out the perpetrators of the killings and violence in Plateau State. His spokesman Dele Alake has said the president strongly condemned the recent internecine killings in the Mangu local government area of Plateau and parts of Benue State. Tinubu also said the country must break the cycle of violence. The president urged social religious leaders in the troubled areas as well as the leadership of Arewa Consultative Forum, Jama'atul Nasrul Islam and Christian Association of Nigeria to work together to help foster genuine and long-lasting peace. He also charged the government of Plateau and Benue States and emergency response agencies to provide support and immediate relief to victims who have been displaced as a result of the conflicts. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has written the Senate seeking for the screening and subsequent confirmation of the new Chief of Defense Staff and Service Chiefs. The request was contained in a letter addressed to the President of the Senate, Senator Akpabio. Akpabio, who read the letter on Tuesday during plenary, said that the request was in line with the Act establishing the armed forces. Akpabio, after reading the letter, referred the request to the Committee of the Whole as there was no standing committee on armed forces, just as this means that the service chiefs will be screened on the floor of the Senate, not at the committee level. Senate President Godswill Akpabio on Tuesday named the chairman and members of the special committees of the Senate. According to him, members of the Senate Selection Committee, mainly comprising presiding officer and principal officers of the upper chamber, include Senators Godswill Akpabio, Barrow Jibril, Okwayemi Bamidele, Ali Ndume, Dave Umahi and Lola Ashiru. Others are Senators Simon Matkong, Ayewumi Olarere, Darlington Ngo Ikucha and Rufai Hanga. Akpabio also named the chairman and deputy chairman of the other special committees of the Senate. Senator Titus Zam was named as the chairman, Senate Committee on Rules and Business, with Senator Okwayemi Bamidele as vice chairman, while Senator Sunday Karimi was appointed chairman, Committee on Senate Services, with Senator Williams Jonah as vice chairman, amongst others. The Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs has Senator Adara Modu Adeyemi Raphael as chairman and Senator Salisu Shuaibu Afolabi as vice chairman, respectively. Governors elected on the platforms of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) on Tuesday called on the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to set a high standard of neutrality in the November 11 governorship elections in Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi states. This was as they expressed worry over the rising insecurity in some states of the Federation. In a communique issued at the end of a 4-hour inaugural meeting of the PDP Governorship Forum under the leadership of the Bauchi State Governor, Bala Muhammad, the governors called on the federal government to rise up to its responsibility of making the country safer for Nigerians. The meeting resolved to work together and unite the forum, whose aim is to provide a platform for peer review of issues, policies, programs and achievements, legacy projects of member governors across the PDP states. On the absence of the Rivers State Governor, Similaye Fubara, Bala said an apology was sent to the forum, adding that there was no need for anyone to read negative meaning into his absence. The challenge of funding family planning in the country may lead to increasing unwanted pregnancies and abortions. according to the United Nations Population Fund. It stated this at an event to mark the 2023 World Population Day organized by the National Population Commission in Abuja on Tuesday. During a panel discussion titled Dialogue on Financing and Investment in Family Planning, Meeting the Growing Demand of Nigerian Women, Technical Specialist Maternal and Reproductive Health UNDP Dr. Adila Khan said that the funding gap for family planning was widening, increasing from $25 million in last year to $32 million in 2023. According to her, this funding gap will lead to 700,000 unintended pregnancies, which will further lead to 300,000 unplanned births and 300,000 unsafe abortions. The UNFPA Executive Director Dr. Natalia Kanem, who was represented by UNFPA Nigeria Acting Resident Representative Ms. Erica Goldson, noted that 19% of married women in Nigeria could not exercise their rights to make decisions, especially regarding having children. In her remark at the event, the Special Advisor on Health to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Dr. Selma Anas, acknowledged the implications of the country's population growth. The House of Representatives has urged the National Universities Commission (NUC) to suspend the implementation of an increase in the tuition fees of universities. This was contained in a motion by Aliyu Sani Madaki, who noted that the universities that hiked their fees included Bayero University Kano, the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, the University of Uyo, University of Maiduguri, Michael Okpara University of Agriculture Omudike, and Federal University Dutse, among others. Lawmakers in the Green Chamber were concerned that the hike in fees by the universities was happening against the worsening poverty level in the country, inflation, high rates of unemployment, and the recent fuel price hike. The lawmakers also noted that the hike might aggravate the already volatile situation in the country, as students were already making threats which could lead to an uprising against the federal government with grievous consequences for the country as a whole. The House also asked the federal government to reverse the recent hike of school fees in Unity secondary schools. The Hinga BM-led Benue State Asset Recovery Committee recently set up by Governor Hyacinth Alia Tuesday allegedly raided a private automobile workshop in Makurdi, carting away vehicles of individuals and those of the former Governor Samuel Ortom parked at the premises. The action of the committee was in defiance of an earlier injunction of a Makurdi High Court which restrained the committee from proceeding with its action against the ex-governor and his then deputy. Reacting to the development, former Governor Ortom, in a statement by his media aide Tava Akasai, expressed shock at the action of the committee, saying it's mark of total lawlessness, given a subsisting court order on the matter. 4 police officers have reportedly been killed by bandits in Gusau, Sokoto Road in the Bangudu local government area of Zamfara. An indigene of the area who gave his name as Haruna Musa said the bandits, who were in large numbers, ambushed and shot the police officers who were on duty on the road on Monday. According to Musa, the police officers had mounted a roadblock on the road very close to Bangudu town when the bandits opened fire, killing 4 of them. Musa maintained that the bandits later moved to a nearby village and rustled several animals and stole foodstuffs. The spokesperson of the State Police Command, SP Yazid Abubakar, confirmed the attack but denied knowing whether any policeman died during the attack. A Catholic priest, Reverend Father Joseph Azubike, who was kidnapped in Ebonyi State, have been freed. The State Police Command, in a statement yesterday, said he regained freedom at about 6 p.m. on Tuesday as a result of the concerted efforts of the operatives of the command and was in a hospital for checks as of press time. It was gathered that the cleric, was kidnapped on Monday in Isu in the Onitsha local government area of Ebonyi State, close to his residence in the area. The other victims were kidnapped alongside the priest, although their identities weren't revealed. And on the foreign scene, Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte said Monday he was leaving politics after nearly 13 years in charge, in a shock end to his time as the longest-serving leader in the history of the Netherlands. Nicknamed Teflon Mark For surviving scandals that hit his four government, the center-right leader said he would bow out after election triggered by the collapse of his coalition in a row over asylum policy. The European Union's second longest-serving leader after Hungary's Viktor Orban was widely expected to seek a fifth term in the elections this autumn, but stunned MPs with his surprise announcement. The bike-riding, frugal living premier had steered the Netherlands through economic upheaval and the COVID pandemic since 2010, relying on a Mr. Normal image to appeal to voters. He was also a European stalwart who infuriated some southern countries with his hard line on bailouts, but won support for his backing of Ukraine. And in sport, Juventus are ready to cash in on Paul Pogba for a modest amount of £10 million. According to Gazzello dello Sport, an Italian media outlet, De Biconeria are aiming to sell the former Manchester United midfielder for the meager fee to interested clubs. The injury-prone midfielder has attracted the interest of a few Saudi Arabia clubs, with Al Ahly, the Al Ittihad waiting especially. Recall Pogba was the world's most expensive player in 2016 when he switched from Juventus to Manchester United in a deal involving £105 million. However, the 2018 World Cup winner left the club, later revealing that his stint at the English club didn't go as planned. Upon expiration of his contract, the 31-year-old returned to Turin with hopes of helping Juventus take their rightful place by winning the Scudetto. Pogba has only managed to appear in just 10 appearances with 1 assist as the French maestro continues to battle with a chain of injuries. The latest injury he sustained came against Cremonese in May, where he only lasted 24 minutes, limping out of the field with teary eyes. And with the sport news, we've come to the end of our bulletin for today. You can follow us on our social media handles at Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at TUNTBE Radio FM TV, respectively. You can also watch us live on the satellite decoder Badarsat, which has been watched in about 38 countries of the world free. You can follow us and stream us live on our YouTube channel at Unity FM TV. I am Rukayat Sani Ibrahim. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of our programs. Do have yourself a lovely day.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.